And welcome back to another edition of the Big Exclusive Podcast. I'm so happy to be with you guys this week. It's a very special week. We are live and direct for the Battle of the Sexes show. And boy, am I excited. We got not one, not two, not three beautiful women, but we got four. Three of them will be on the panel. We will have one as the moderator. I'll introduce those ladies in a second. And as usual, the gang's all here. My brothers from another, the co-host for the Big Exclusive Podcast. I'm gonna bring them in a second after I do my 1-2 and thank the sponsors that allow us to make this podcast happen each and every week. First and foremost, major shout out to iCraftMart. iCraftMart, home of the website that is made by people, for people, by us, for us, or how Fubu used to say it, for you, by you. Take some very talented, black and brown women out there, and we, get their products on the website, and we show them some love. They show us some love. If you need wet body butter, lotion, soap, every kind of soap, from vegan soap to African black soap, pure, like the real black soap, okay? You can get all that over at iCraftMart.com. Critical Shot Studio. If we look good and we sound good, it's because of Critical Shot Studio. Head on over to Critical Shot Studio on Instagram, on Facebook, pretty much everywhere. And if you have anything coming up that you need audio, video, make sure you guys get with Critical Shot Studio. Low Exclusive Bakery, home of the best baked cookies on the planet. Also owned by an 8-year-old baker named Cameron, a.k.a. my daughter, a.k.a. my meatball. Her products are available on iCraftMart.com. Make sure you go over there and order you some cookies. My oldest daughter, Kayla, she owns her own cosmetic company that's Maywa by Kayla. Maywa stands for Luxury in Sudanese. So she got the luxury cosmetics for all the young ladies out there. Especially salute to Maywa Cosmetics. You can pick our products up on the website as well. Also, major shout out to I should actually have them scrolling across the screen. That would make sense. But there it is right there. Again, right quick. If you guys are out there on Facebook land, YouTube land, by all means, share the screen. Share the stream. We appreciate the love. Make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. We appreciate that love as well. Shea Harmony. Shea Harmony can be found at iCraftMart.com as well. Shea Harmony offers all natural products for the body, with their whipped shea butter being their most exclusive item. Shea Harmony's whipped and scented shea butter is sure to keep your skin moisturized, soft, and smooth. It'll soothe that dry, cracked skin, and it'll also leave you smelling amazing. Shea Harmony also offers natural soaps, beard and hair oil, essential oil remedies, and much, much more. Shea Harmony products can be found at iCraftMart.com. Shea Harmony, bringing harmony to your skin. Also, brand new sponsor on deck, Mastermind Credit Game. If you out there and you're looking for ways to, or if you need help with credit repair, credit building, you need help building business credit, you need help building wealth right now. And if you head over to mastermindcreditgame.com, get your free credit restoration. But it's much more than that. They're going to teach you not just how to restore, or they're not just going to help you restore your credit and help you build it. They're also going to show you ways on how you can make money and leverage your credit to build financial wealth. They'll also teach you about money, and they'll teach you about financial literacy as well. Mastermind Credit Game, brand new sponsor to the Big Exclusive Podcast. Head over to mastermindcreditgame.com and get your credit repaired right now for free. They're taking only a limited number of clients, thanks to the Big Exclusive Podcast. And if you need credit restoration, you need help with financial literacy and understanding the credit game, you need help building wealth and building that generational wealth, head over to mastermindcreditgame.com right now. Appreciate all the sponsors locked in right now. I'm going to bring in the regulars. I know it's always ladies first, but I got to bring in my brothers from another, the regular co-host to the Big Exclusive Podcast. Super important for them to get on here and show you who they is and what they do and what they want to is. We got, first of all, I got to play his intro. Because he mean business this week is Battle of the Sexes, and he on his bullshit.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. You think you can do this to me? You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you. I'm the man up in this piece. I run shit here. You just live here. King Kong ain't got shit on me. Go and walk away, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker down.
Let's welcome the angry OG. My favorite part, go and walk away, because I'm about to burn this bitch down.
Shoe program, nigga.
And I know this is your week, bro. This is your week. I know it's on and popping this week. You ready?
I was born ready.
All right. You're always ready, so you ain't got to get ready. The other, again, we got to bring in the other coast. The funniest person I know personally right now, he's on the, I believe, the West Coast right now. So that 3-hour time difference is kicking his ass because he thought the show was yesterday. But let's welcome in my brother, comedian, Topp motherfucking Fliight. Fliight, what up?
What's up, man? What's going on?
What the fuck you in Dubai? Talking about you thought the shit was yesterday. Like,
I thought he was in Australia.
you in the UAE?
Listen, man, I'm
in the
in
UAE
Vegas.
somewhere?
I'm in Vegas right now, but I don't know what day it is. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I went from Phoenix to Boston, to Phoenix to Vegas. Yeah, it's just been crazy.
So you punch
You really
right
is Top motherfucking Flight right now.
now. Yeah. I don't know what time it is, what day it is, enough.
It's good to have you on the show, bro. I want to get this show on the road. We got to bring in. See, we have a lot of shows don't have this. That's why we the big exclusive podcast. We got our fourth member of the show. His job is to regulate the comments. He always got a front row seat. It's good to see him back and up on his in his spot. He got a permanent seat reserved in the front row. My guy, Big Roll, right now, he is George Jones till he gets his account back. But he said sliding in like Eddie Kane in the 5 Heartbeats. Ain't got no money, don't got no fancy car, laughing my ass off. Big Roll, what up? Big Roll, you're gonna have to regulate in them comments tonight because it's gonna be hot and it's gonna be heavy and it's gonna be heated. Okay, because it's the battle of the sexes. Now it's time for me to bring in the ladies. Okay. But before we do that, let's show our, everybody who locked in right now some love. Christine said, "Hey everyone." Montia, what's up? That's a throwback right there. Montia from around the way. I'm glad you locked in, tuned in. Stephanie, always showing love. Steph, what's going on? It's good to see you back. Montia said, "I've been missing it, but also catching it on days later. I still be tuned in all late." Montia, we definitely appreciate that. For sure. Dawn said, "Hey, good evening, everyone." Dawn, I hope y'all ready for tonight. It's gonna be good. It's definitely gonna be a good one. He Rose said, "Flight, angry, Dap Shannon, hugs to the ladies." Jemina, hey, we got to get you on here, Jemina. You be locked in every week. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. Hey, Big Roll. Hey, sexy. Oh, Lord. Tiffany Ann, what's up, Tiff? What's going on with you? It's good to have you. I knew Tiff was going to come in front row, locked in, ready to go. All right, let's start introducing. She said, "Always appreciate you too." Definitely. Let's start introducing the ladies, right? So the first lady I want to introduce, she's been with us the last couple weeks. Pretty soon, y'all just going to start associating her with the show. She's going to have to be down. We just going to have to poach her. She's just going to have to be a permanent on the show. I'm feeling her energy. I'm feeling her vibe. I always like
you just try to feel her too.
With the smile. And she definitely got a nice rack. I ain't fitting to lie to y'all about that. You ain't got to try to expose me like that. I'm man enough to say she got a great rack. Let's welcome in the lovely Bianca Monroe. Bianca, what's up?
Hi, do you see my face? Like, really?
Oh, man, just to see some titties. Like, cut it out, man.
Yeah, did it. Don't hate. I love y'all too. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? Hey.
So you heard me. We trying to steal you away, make you a permanent on the show. You heard
I
me.
heard you. I
Okay.
heard you. What's up? What's up?
And go sip your water. I see you.
She damn
we gotta
sure ain't
bring in.
covering them titties up, though. I'll tell you that.
What happened,
For
Flight? You said
what?
bring them back
For
on the
what?
screen. Flight, you said bring them back on the screen. I got you, my man.
But why is
I
just
told
one
you
of your
that's
shoulders
my
out?
trademark. Because I get a little chilly, like the fan is on this shoulder, so I had to put it on
Okay.
this one, and then
Okay.
once this one get chilly, I'm gonna put it on that one. See, I got my. This is my thing. This is I know how it works. Just yeah, we're gonna say that for later. Anyway, I'm glad to be
Okay.
here, y'all.
Big Roll said BB with the world famous cleave. Let's
He already know.
let's introduce our next lady. We actually waiting on one more lady to get here. She running a little late, but one monkey don't stop no show. We gonna bring in our next lady. You guys seen her before. If you're a regular on the Big Exclusive Podcast, she repping for the ladies this week. None other than the lovely Crystle Dominique.
Hey y'all.
Crystle, what's
Thanks
happening?
for having me. Not much. Happy to be here again.
Oh,
and
man, we
appreciate
you
I'm
coming
loving the show, B more. You looking good over there.
Thanks, Boo. Same to you.
I'm sorry, the ladies just be showing love to each other.
Right. It's always love.
Always.
Big roll on your ass. He said, damn, Bianca, you got the dress on too? You doing a photo shoot? All right.
Don't worry about what I got going on over here. I got something to do later. Just all right, cool.
All right. With that being said, Tiffany Ann said, Crystle Dominique with the love.
Hey, love.
With that, so you guys seen this young lady on? I mean this lovely, regal, elegant actress on the show before. We definitely trying to poach or steal her and get her on the show every chance.
Your hype game is on 1,000, man.
Don't hate, and if you guys don't know who she is,
prestigious. Like
if you don't know who she is, allow me to reintroduce herself.
Miss Duke, you can call me Miriam.
Well, that's a beautiful name, Miss Miriam. What is it that you do? I mean, like, for money.
There's nothing I wouldn't do for you and your sister. You know what? I can't wait to see you, sir.
And we can't wait to see you, Miss LaVeda Davis. What's up, Mama?
Look at the hat, though. Look at that. Look at
the hats. And listen, all I wanted to play is I teach you how to stunt. She did not come to play tonight. Hey, Miss Davis.
You see the hat?
Look at the neck, though. Look at the neck.
Yeah.
She did not come to play.
Good evening, ladies and gents, handsome people and beautiful ladies. How are you? B Monroe. So when he was describing you and he said the chest, I was like, you all didn't see me. I was blushing. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I was like,
you said put them back on the screen, Miss Davis. There they go.
Oh my God.
Not you.
Y'all gonna leave me alone.
Never gave me control.
It's not your name.
Y'all gonna leave me alone.
How is everyone doing?
Pretty good. You will serve as in a special role tonight. You will be the moderator on this battle of the sexes. Do you have the topics?
I have my topics right in front of me.
Okay, good. So we're gonna lay out some ground rules tonight. Okay. DaJavon Harrison will be joining us in a second. So until she gets in here, she's running a little bit late. We're gonna lay out some ground rules, right? First and foremost, we're gonna do what we always do on the Big Exclusive Podcast. We're gonna keep it positive, we're gonna keep it respectful, and we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna allow each other some space tonight, 1 to 2 minutes to answer each topic. Is 6 of us here, okay? So we need to make sure people are allowed to hear the responses to the topics, because it's important. What you guys need to understand is when all those people go to listen to the podcast and it's just the audio version, Some people not gonna watch on YouTube. Some people can't watch it on YouTube at the desk, so they like to slip in the earbuds and put the audio on at from the website at thebpodcast.com. So with that being said, let's try and be respectful and let people get out the thought. Miss LaVeda Davis is going to make sure that nobody is monopolizing any time, and that if she feels like somebody needs to get a rebuttal, or we all grown, we all understand what we doing here. Let's just make sure we have some fun. I feel like the topics are very interesting. I feel like the topics are very good. I think they're going to bring great dialogue. So without further ado,
so when I say ding dong, it's time to wrap it up.
Okay, she hit you with the ding dong. Hey, look at it. She hit you with the what?
Ding dong.
And wrap it up. Okay. All right. The Big Exclusive Podcast has the pieces for a memorable show tonight. Ready for the heat. Yeah. I can see it already. So we can't stick around. We can't wait for Javon. We got to get the show started. We 20 minutes in. I'm going to turn the show over to Ms. Davis. And what Ms. Davis is going to do, she's going to spin the wheel or run her finger up and down the page and pick the first topic. Ladies, we're going to allow you guys to go first. I know you short one member, but you guys are strong enough to handle it right now, okay?
No, they got extra people. Bianca there's 3 of them on her screen.
Wait, what you say? Put them up there again?
They got extra people. They got extra people.
Damn.
Hey,
Oh my God.
OG,
I think he's just a little distracted tonight. That's all that is. I think he's a little distracted.
Damn.
Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. She is here. She is here. The lovely DaJavon Harris, representing the ladies, is here. Javon, how are you?
Daj, call me Daj. That's easier for
All
everybody
right,
in the
Daj.
world.
You here? You ready?
I'm here. Yep, I'm doing good. How's everybody?
Well, thanks.
Good. Work was like
like
for today to be Tuesday. It was very Monday-ish today for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today was giving Monday, but I'm here.
All right. So the last thing I'm gonna say before I turn it over to you, Miss Davis, is ladies and gentlemen, tag your friends, share the stream, bring them in here, because tonight on the podcast is Battle of the Sexes, and we ready to go. Miss Davis, go on, take over. Do your 1-2 as the moderator and host tonight.
I'd like to start this evening with a saucy little topic. At what point does female empowerment become male emasculation?
Okay.
And let's start with Miss B. Monroe. What do you think about that, Goddess? At what point does female empowerment become male emasculation?
I don't feel as though that it does become male emasculated. How is it, I'm empowering myself and or females? How does it then now emasculate a man? I mean, you're supposed to love yourself. You're supposed to be empowered. You're supposed to be comfortable and confident in yourself. So if I'm empowered or if I feel empowered, how is that taken away from the male? Maybe it's just the man at all. I don't believe that. I don't believe that to be true.
Anyone else would like to pop in? I have my thoughts, but I'd like to hear what everyone else is thinking. Crystle, what do you think?
Oh man, see, I thought we was gonna tag team. I would love to hear these guys trying to get us to talk, and then they go on.
My apology.
No, I have a lot to say, but I was hoping the guy would go.
Do a tennis court. Topp Fliight, I'd love to hear your idea and your thoughts.
Me too.
For me personally, I don't think so. Men gonna be men. We are who we are. We gonna be the way we gonna be, and that's what I believe. That's what I stand on. So I don't think women demasculate me in no shape, form, or fashion. It's what we allow.
You've heard this topic before?
Yeah.
Any thoughts as to why that still is in the air? Because it's a topic that really hasn't gone anywhere. It's just gotten more pronounced because we're just more modern and women are flourishing in ways that they weren't flourishing 25, 30 years ago. I mean, you weren't in the earlier, we were kind of texting each other earlier, and I'm not sure if you know this, women were not able to get divorced or get their own credit card until like the 70s, which is not that long ago. So, and I'm sure you've heard this kind of like men want to have a submissive woman to lead them somewhere.
I think that's bullshit. Like, I don't know no men that want no submissive woman. Like submissive, like I think that word should be scrapped or whatever. I think men just want a woman that's agreeable. That's agreeable, not like submissive. That's a bad word for. Like I don't like that word in a relationship. Like that's like some slave type shit. Like submissive to me mean is like I'm walking you around with a dog chain around your neck and shit, a dog collar, and you want a leash. Like I don't like that word.
Crystle, what do you think?
I agree. I don't like the word submissive. However, I think the topic is very important because in this conversation, you hear this come up a lot when you're conversations about women empowerment. We can name a whole bunch of popular taglines, right? Whether or not you're in a feminist movement, whether or not you're in a Me Too movement. I've heard like conversations from men and women who are anti that, and they'll make comments like, women are being empowered in a way where we're going against the male, or I think the question was emasculating men. And personally, my question is, at what point does wanting empowerment and fulfillment of one to end the oppression of one means that we want to oppress the other? And I think that's very important to discuss when we talk about this topic.
Shannon?
I don't know. I've never personally felt emasculated by a woman, but just to be devil's advocate for a second, just to fight for some of those men who do feel emasculated, I believe in those instances, I don't believe it has anything to do with the woman wanting to be empowered. I think in certain non-binary roles and relationships, some women take stronger roles and stronger stances, which can make that guy, I guess she's dealing with, feel emasculated because he might not feel as useful. And I mainly see that in relationships or dynamics where the woman is more financially well off than the man. So only in that dynamic, I see that sometimes as an issue from my experience. But me personally, I don't feel emasculated by women at all, because I'm going to be me regardless of, whatever status, social, economic, or financial status we have in the world. So it's not my experience. I really can't speak to it, but I have seen that dynamic in it, like I said, in instances where the woman may make more than a man and she feel like she's in a position of power above him and she can emasculate him that way. So in that instance, I can see it. But besides that, it's not been my personal experience. So that's as far as I can speak to it.
And a man, like, ain't no woman gonna be able to emasculate me. I don't give a fuck what position of I don't care how much money you make, because whatever you make is what you make. I don't care about your money. I don't care about your degree. So that shit carries no weight with me. So for me to feel like a woman can emasculate me, like I'm a whole man. I'm a man's man. Like ain't nobody going to emasculate me. So like, but I think that shit derived from basically like now, like you got to be careful what you say about females. That's like some shit that you just can't say. And it's like with the Me Too stuff and all those movements, that's predicated, that's basically catering to women or whatever. It's like men, I can see where some men can feel like they got to watch what they say when it comes to certain shit, like because you'll get canceled.
Give me an example.
Like a prime example is like with Cam Newton, what he just spoke on or whatever. So they dragged him for his for his take on something, his opinion, but they don't drag Lizzo for saying the same type shit in her songs. they don't come for her though.
What do
Like in
Lizzo
her
say in
songs,
her
that's all she talk about is bad bitches. I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bitch this bad, whatever. So they don't come to cancel her. They coming for him because he spoke out about that topic and what his preference would be. So how the fuck you get dragged for your preference?
I'm very interesting because I don't follow Lizzo that much, so I'm curious what those lyrics are. I have to go back and do some research. But
Please.
Dej,
Can we play some of them?
Daj,
I just said them. You act like you were here. You heard me talking.
I listened to
Okay,
them.
I know you heard what I said.
Okay,
Like,
so what is
yeah,
the
she
issue
got a
with
song
Lizzo?
talking about she this bad bitch and bitch that and bitch this,
It's
but
bad bitch o'clock and it's 6:30. What's the problem?
yeah, you know the song, yeah, that kind of shit. Like, ain't nobody coming for
I
her.
want it to be the national anthem.
Nobody's coming for her.
Lizzo for president.
Why should they?
Yeah, and the president of Nigeria.
Why should they?
Why?
The
Why
president of
should they come for
Nigeria.
her?
And y'all can move over there with her.
Why should they come for her?
Why should they come for him? Because he stated his preference.
Well, but now who?
Cam Newton.
What did he say?
He stated his preference for, he stated his preference for the type of woman that he would want to deal with or whatever. And then he spoke on the fact that a lot of the people that call themselves bad bitches and boss bitches can't cook or whatever and don't know when to be quiet. And they dragging them for it.
I mean, well, that is true.
Okay, so Daj, I'd like to hear
you.
your.
I can't lie and say that it's not.
What makes him the authority on what women who might see themselves as a bad bitch or whatever? What gives him the authority to paint everybody with the same brush like that?
It's free speech.
Let me say something.
Oh, it is.
OG.
But you got to be ready for the consequences too.
He ain't
Newton
worried
talking
about
bad bitches. Cam Newton can't come for bad bitches too hard because half the time he dresses like a bad bitch himself. So
I'm glad you said it because guess what? If we talk about how Lizzo look and how she dressed, you're gonna drag somebody.
I don't drag nobody.
When we talk about Lizzo and how she look, come on, man, cut it out. Cut it out with the double standard.
Lizzo will tell you it's not a double standard. Lizzo will tell you.
Cut it out.
Lizzo will tell you that she's fat and fine.
Lizzo
will tell you that she's fat and fine. So, but the thing is,
Lizzo saying that she's fat and
fine. Hold on, let me make a point real quick.
When they say she's not, she come on in and crying.
Let me make a point real quick. I will say that she does. She's confident, and then when too many people tear her down, she does get emotional. But this is what I find with men. Men can do or say certain shit for years, right? And then when women take it back, it's a problem. Case in point, when Cardi and Megan came out with WAP, right? Men have been objectifying and sexualizing women in rap lyrics for decades. They come out with WAP and niggas is online talking about what about the children? This is what we got on the right. Niggas on the floor kicking and screaming because the lyrics is so crazy. My daughter hear this. My daughter hearing this and the kids. What about this where we headed in a society? Wait a minute. It wasn't an issue when Eazy-E was doing it. It wasn't an issue when Luke was doing it. It wasn't an issue when Rick Ross said put Molly all in a drink and she didn't even know it, went home and enjoyed that. She didn't even know it. Men rap about date rape and it's like, oh yeah, this is a vibe. He's spitting. But then Cardi B say she got wet ass pussy and niggas is rolling, screaming across the floor. That's the issue with men. Y'all dictated how women should conduct themselves, the things they should say, how they should feel about themselves since antiquity. And now when we want to decide how we want to be seen, perceived, and everything, it's the issue. I can't.
It's not an issue. It's not an issue at all because
OG, hold on, OG. It's not an issue whatsoever. Because the problem I'm having, going back to the Cam Newton statement and what he said, the problem that I see is that when anyone says anything about their experiences and personal preferences, they act like Cam Newton or Lizzo or Cardi or whoever the fuck man it was crying about the kids speak for everybody as a community. Cam Newton can say what he think a bad bitch is because that's his experience. That's what he see, and those are his preferences. Cam Newton don't paint a picture for me as a black man. Neither does any positive black man who may speak out against or for anything. You can't paint everybody with a broad stroke and put that imprint on all men think this or all women think that. You can't do that because at the end of the day, whatever Lizzo experience is, however she decided to empower herself, just like she puts it out there, she has the freedom of speech, freedom to show whatever. She also has the freedom to suffer those consequences and the trolls, just like Cam Newton. So it's not about defending or trying to stick up for some specific cause or anything like that. What we can't do is paint men and women with a broad stroke and expect that to be everybody's feelings and everybody's opinions. I could give a shit how Lizzo dressed. That's her. Cam Newton's opinion is Cam Newton's. Kevin Samuels is his. If I agree with it, I'll express how I personally feel about something, and that's it. You can't paint these people just because they celebrities or athletes or actors or actresses. You can't paint their feelings as how a community feel as a whole. Because the majority of people probably do not feel the way Cam feel, do not care what Cam think. That's just like Dave Chappelle asked Ja Rule. Nobody give a fuck what Ja Rule think. I don't give a fuck what none of them think. It boils down to, for me,
if it don't fit me, I don't give a shit.
Speak to. That's it.
You're right.
If it don't fit me, I have nothing. I don't give a shit.
If it don't fit me, I don't give a shit. But here's the problem.
But Dave,
what are we doing right now? Social media, right? But listen, hear me out. Social media, right? Social media, right? When the right person with a broad enough platform says it, us regular women out here trying to date, we feel it. The stuff that Cam Newton says.
How?
Can
Please.
I tell you how?
The stuff
can I tell you how?
How? Please.
Can I tell you how? I mean, I'm not here to like debunk like what y'all feel and what y'all think, but I think it's very ignorant and very dismissive when we look at things like what celebrities do or what we hear in the media and say, I don't care what some people think, because the reality of it is the way those people think, there is they represent to some extent a level of the majority thought, depending on the communities they come from and depending on the people who share those experiences. So when we see things like what happened with Cam Newton, right? It's not that I care about Cam Newton, but we cannot dismiss when things like this happen within our community to look at it and evaluate it and try to understand it as far as, okay, the question is this a common view? Is this problematic in our community? It's not that he's the end all be all of this opinion, but we can't dismiss it to say it doesn't matter because these people represent members within our community. And I'll leave it at this. I want to say something about the Lizzo thing because I've been sitting on this one and I'll shut up because I know we only got a couple minutes. But like when you say like, well, Lizzo can say this or even women can say this, and why is it a problem if somebody says this? The same reason why you say that Black people can say the N-word and white people cannot. We have to
apples and oranges. That's apples and oranges. That's apples and oranges.
Let me finish my thought. Before you assume it's apples and oranges, right?
No, I don't assume. I know it is.
When you are not among a group of the oppressed, you cannot speak for the oppressed. This is my struggle with men when we're having these conversations. You guys will cut us up, shut us down, tell us to be quiet when we're talking about our issues as women, right? But you are not within that community to even shut me up about this. And that's my struggle with men when we talk about
Who told you to shut up?
Well, when you say it's apples and oranges, I'm in the middle of a point about why Lizzo does what she does and why she can say I'm a bad bee. And then when we're looking at a man who's doing it, I'm not saying one is right over the other, but what I'm getting at is when you try to point her out to say, well, she does this, do you know that Lizzo represents body positive movements? Do you know that she represents herself as an activist for self-love for women who are... So
explain body positivity to me. And not your take. Explain it, yeah.
Explain it or explain it.
Explain it. Because
body positivity means being happy and positive and accepting of...
Where did it derive from, though? Where did it derive from?
I can't finish the sentence.
Where did it derive from?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Where did it derive from?
You educated. Where did it come from? Like where did it initially come from?
I don't know. Probably in the 1700s. They've been figuring. I don't know. What do you mean? Where did it come from? Like,
Yeah, what fits under the umbrella of body positivity?
Say that again.
What fits under the umbrella of body positivity?
Like, you need to clarify. I'm confused at where we're going with this question.
Shannon, tell her what body positivity is. What did it derive from?
Listen.
And it derives from the fact that we sit there and we glorify European beauty as a standard. So if you're not a certain style, if you're not a certain size, if you don't look a certain way and things like that, what's become mainstream and what we are programmed to think is cute or what is sexy or what is pretty. So whereas though like somebody like a Lizzo who is overweight and may have been bullied or put down or however, and probably never felt comfortable in her own skin because of what the popular standard is, she's now showing it's okay for me to love myself. Now, some people don't like it, some people love it, but at the end of the day, body positivity is you loving yourself for who you are, accepting yourself and your flaws, and loving it.
But I'm just confused
not where it came from.
Came from.
My mouth.
I'm confused.
It came out my mouth the same way yours came from.
I'm confused by what you
Shannon,
mean.
can you tell her where body positivity started from?
Hold on.
You said where did it derive from? That's where it derived from. That's where it came about.
Hold on. I want Crystle to finish her thought. And then
I don't even know where the hell I was at, man. Angry to have you diverted like a mug up in this joint.
No, you had yourself diverted.
No, you be
because you reading from a script. Like, just read from your script. You'll be all right.
First of all, okay, so there's a book.
So B just told you where it came from. She just gave
That's
you a
not where
very
it came from.
So
yes, it is.
If you really want to know, because if you really want to know, because you almost seem like an antagonist, like you want to just stir up trouble in this conversation. So I'm trying to calm myself down right now. But if you really want to know, if you do the research and look at
everybody's muted, finish your point.
If you look into the research of where the European standards derived and when they started, it was in the 17th century. There are books out there. I'm not going to name them. You can go read them. I've done the research. So with that said, if you're really curious about where it came from, like B. Monroe said, there's been a European standard for some time now that has created a standard of beauty that has a lot of us, you included, everyone on this call, whether it's me, or a man, a female, whoever, influenced by what we believe and what we think is the acceptable standard of beauty. So if you want to know where it derived from, do some research. It goes all the way back to when the European standards of beauty first started to come out in different forms of media beyond what we even know about now. And from there on, it's influenced the way we all think in our families and our communities and our media. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Topp Fliight or B. Monroe, would you like to?
It has nothing to do with European standard of beauty. That should derive from people that was disfigured and stuff like that or whatever.
It wasn't you didn't have to be disfigured. It was literally.
That's where the body positivity movement started.
I think I've said this. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You got it.
I think I've said this to this panel before. When I was a teen, my mother used to come up if I was in the bathroom mirror, she would come up and do this to me and say, "LaVeda, you would be so much prettier if you would just get a nose job." She would do that almost weekly. She wound up getting a nose job in the 80s. I never followed her to the point where it's so shocking that I'm still in front of the camera with my nose. In order to find a sense of LaVeda, you are enough. I don't have to do anything to my face. That's someone else's bullshit being thrown on me. That's chatter from someone else. How do you feel? Because someone can get in your head. You can change your nose. You can change your skin, and we've seen people do that. I needed to find out how LaVeda is. I'm okay. If no one else thinks I'm beautiful, I could care less. I think I'm okay. So, what Lizzo is going through, you have to start with self. I'm okay if I'm 500 pounds, if I'm 20 pounds, if I'm stretch mark, whatever that is. Universe didn't make a mistake on us, and if you're out in the public, you don't know who's relying on you to be strong. They're living vicariously through you. Like, wow, if she could feel that way, if she feels okay about that, or he, that means there's space for me to do that. But my one of my uncles, you think he's 500? I mean, what? God, damn. What is? Our families are so broken. We don't know how to. Our visual, our the way we see each other is so. It has something to do with another community. That's what I'm thinking. So, do we want to go a few more minutes, or would we like to go on?
I mean, yeah, you can. I think Flight and
Would anyone like to? Do you want anything else?
No, I said what I had to say. It had nothing to do with the European standard of beauty. Nothing at all.
How do you figure that when we're still fighting a battle where though it's now a thing called the Crown Act because we can't get hired with certain hairstyles because it's not what they figure.
I'm talking about body positivity. You're talking about something else now.
All that's included.
It's all included.
What are you
Your hair is part of your body.
Natural hair, fatness, light skinness, dark. It's all included. It's all included.
So can I ask a question? Can I ask a question right quick? At what point does it become accountability for your own self-esteem and body positivity? And I asked this question because I feel like if people are waiting around for celebrities to do or say anything to influence what's going on in their lives and or community, that's a problem. Why aren't we finding positivity inside our own communities, inside our own households, or examples in and around our immediate area where we are, our immediate neighborhoods and communities? Because at the end of the day, you said you made it a point to say that I couldn't be dismissive about Lizzo and what she think, or Cam Newton and what he think, because if enough people feel like that, well, at the end of the day, if enough people again, that takes me back to a flashback to Charles Barkley when he said, "I'm not a role model." Like, if we did half the shit that the celebrities did, we would be in prison. They get away with shit because they have money. Future talking about taking drugs and syrup and all that. Most of the gangster shit we grew up listening to, wasn't, I mean, it was real street report, but it wasn't real. Snoop said, fuck hoes and all that shit. Been married for 30-something years. My point is, at what point do we take responsibility for our own shit and seek the therapy that we need to have better self-esteem and be better examples of positive, whatever ism it is, in our own communities?
But when you grow up,
that's a fact. I think that's a fact. LaVeda, I'm sorry. I think that's a fact.
No, you're fine. Go ahead, Crystle.
I think what you said is a great point. And I don't think what you said is incorrect. And just to double back on what you said to correct me, I never said that we should not take accountability for our own self-esteem. I said we cannot ignore the way the media affects people. That's what I said. We can't ignore it. That's all I said. Now, with that said, we should take accountability. We should be in therapy.
Why would you let it affect you, though?
Almost done. Like LaVeda said, though, when you're growing up in communities who are damaged by how many centuries of oppressive situations and slavery. And first of all, I grew up in a family where I'm the darkest member of my community and grew up bullied because I'm a Blackie with nappy hair. So with that said, it's not that we should not hold ourselves accountable. That's not, I don't think, what we're saying right now. What we're saying is there are things that happen within our community where we are either influenced by it, our family's influenced by it, our community's influenced by it. And just to go back to the Lizzo thing, if Lizzo chooses to be a role model because she believes that she didn't have the right community that made her have a good self-esteem, and she wants to be someone that goes out there and does this to change the life of another individual who goes through what she goes through, then that's why that person chooses to do it. That's all I was saying. But does that mean that I'm not going to want to go to therapy and I'm not going to want to deal with my own issues? Absolutely not. But it does not mean that these other things are not happening in our community that affects other people within it. That's all.
Half of Lizzo stuff is self-inflicted.
So now, again, my question is this: you made some great points, and I can understand, and I don't want to be putting words in your mouth, But you said if that's what Lizzo wants to do and she wants to be that role model, right? You have any kids? Like, do you have any kids?
Me?
Why is that relevant?
Yeah, Crystle.
Why is that relevant?
I'm asking because I'm trying to make a point.
I have nieces and nephews.
All right, so I'm making it
typical woman. She couldn't say yes or no.
I'm not because you know why I
couldn't say yes or no. Like
it don't even matter.
It's a dialogue. It's part of the dialogue.
It don't even matter at this point.
He's not trying to like it's part of the dialogue. Like we have a dialogue where you know we can learn some shit from each other. This is where we got to start at.
You have to know why I answered that. So don't make assumptions. I've had two children that have died in stillbirth. So that's why I said, why does that matter? And I've raised and helped raise my nieces and nephews. So
but it was just a yes or no.
You don't have to always speak for certain things.
It's part of the dialogue. He's trying to find something out. He's obviously trying to find something out.
Okay, so I got 5.
So let me.
I got 5. So I still don't understand how that's totally relevant.
I'm just trying to understand. That's all I want to understand because I have a niece. And listen, Bigger Susan, the reason why I asked that question was not because I was trying to be a typical woman. That was a very sexist statement, by the way. But it's because I have a niece who I also help raise. And the day that she came to me and said that she thinks she wants plastic surgery because some of the things that she saw in the media, like that's when I was like, wow. So that's why I asked why you asked that question and why it was relevant, because we all have children out here in the world that we're helping raise and be and help be better people. That's why I asked. That's all.
Can I make a point real quick?
The ultimate point, the ultimate point I was trying to get to was this. There's as a father raising 2 young Black daughters, it ain't a celebrity out there that I'm comfortable being allowing them to be a role model for my kids. I don't care what they see in the media. I don't care what they see on TV, YouTube, or hear in the music. It's my responsibility to reinforce every single positive thing that I need them to understand and give them the tools to get through this life with great mental health and mental agility, with a body positive image of themselves, with all the necessary tools to make it through this life without feeling like they need to do anything other than be them fucking selves. So it's not the responsibility of the media or any celebrity or any musician, actress or actor or athlete to influence my kids in any way that I'm not allowing them to do so. So parents, take accountability. Okay?
Can I make a point real fast?
Yeah,
Can I make a point? Go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna piggyback off of what he said. I'm the celebrity in my house.
Exactly.
I don't be around my kids as much because I am traveling. But who am I to tell my kids to go chase after their dreams and fulfill everything if I'm not gonna do the same? If I'm gonna let someone slight me or half-ass something, then Lizzo, Cam Newton, none of them jokers will.
They don't speak for the majority. They don't speak for the majority.
On my children. I want them to see comedian Topp Fliight, and then when I'm Tyrese Roan at the end of the day. I fulfill any and everything that I go for, I chase. I let them see my failures, and I let them see my succeeds in life and anything that I do. So when it's all said and done, they be like, yo, my dad, and I've heard them say it, yo, I won't be like my dad. My dad out here chasing his dream. He's going forward. I ain't in the best shape, but I've lost weight. I ain't the most athletic, but I'll get out there and I'll chase after them and run, and we'll figure it out together. And whatever it is that they want to do in life, it's my responsibility to coach them on, not Cam Newton, not Lizzo, not anyone to that magnitude.
It's
I've learned a long time ago that it's my responsibility to uphold the way things are going in my house and the way they see things and the way they view it. And if it is a celebrity, I'll make sure I let them know, well, what is it that you think that they did that or why they doing this? And we get an understanding, and research is everything. Google is an amazing thing. You can find out a lot about a lot of people and a lot of things.
It's interesting.
I don't think you should look outside yourself for anything when it comes for that. Like all that shit comes from within.
It's
I don't think you should look outside yourself.
It's interesting that you say that, Topp Fliight. Children desire very, very little from us. The consistency of just being there and them seeing us live our full potential, because that helps them when they're ready to go out there and be themselves. So I'm assuming it, and I can't assume everyone has children here because that's not the truth. But those who do have children or around children, it's those just little things that they see you being consistent with taking care of yourself. That's all. So I applaud you, Topp Fliight and Crystle, for being the grand auntie, because it takes a village. Even if you have children, there's still that other layer of other extra arms that you need to help keep everybody in line. It's not just the parents; it's everybody to keep it in line. Should we move on or?
Yeah.
Please.
I want to. Can I make a point real quick?
Yes.
Can I make a point real quick? I'm gonna try to be as brief as I can. So, I have 5 kids. I have a son 16, all the way down to who you hear right now. I have a 2-year-old, all the way down to a 2-year-old daughter. I have 4 boys and then her. Right. Here's the thing. Yes, we should be our own celebrities, and our kids should be our own role models. I don't feel as though anybody should be any type of outside influence or role model as far as my kids go. However, it would be extremely naive on my end to think that when my 16-year-old goes out the door, he's not going to take something in for what he sees in the media, right? So my thing is and going back to, it was so much I wanted to touch on as far as the body positivity goes. Be quiet. As far as what body positivity is, that did stem from colonialism. It did stem from white supremacy, because for a long time, it was those who decided, women had to wear corsets. Even down in Louisiana, Black women were in such competition. Well, they weren't in competition, but white women saw them as rivals. Are any of you familiar with the tie-down laws? Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. My daughter came in my room. But Black women had to tie their hair up.
So
y'all remember that?
So
Black women had to tie their hair up because white women were like, my husband's looking at this woman with black skin and long pretty hair.
And guess what? They still looking at y'all.
Come here.
And they still looking at y'all, stealing y'all shit to this day.
I wanted to ask this question, and there's no malicious intent behind it. But my question is, you said your 16-year-old goes out into the world and possibly is influenced by that European.
She said the media.
Or okay, influenced by the media.
Yeah, my son isn't influenced by like white supremacy or anything like that. My son
all right. So
he's about to lock his hair up.
So then my question to you would be, what is your relationship with your son? Right. And again, please don't answer that question on here, because it's more of a rhetorical question. Because ideally, the way I see it, and I'll just take it off of you and put it on myself. Ideally, I
don't have a problem. I can tell you my relationship with my son. Like I remind my son that what he sees on social media, a lot of it isn't the fuck real. I tell him that all the time.
That's my point. That's my point. The relationship what you have and what you teach your son is going to be way more powerful and stick than what anything he could see come across his phone.
That's it. He going to see it for what it is.
Because I grew up listening to the hardest. I grew up listening to the hardest of the hardcore rap era.
Yep.
From selling drugs to drive-by shootings to kidnappings to all of that. I grew up in the era where we watched movies like New Jack City. We watch movies like Heat and Scarface, and never once did I want to be a Colombian drug lord. Never once did I want to own and run the Carter. Never once did I want to do any of that stuff. The Grand Theft Auto, the most violent video games, Mortal Kombat, Street. I never wanted to rip nobody's heart out their chest. I never did, because the relationship I had with my mom and the stuff that she instilled in me, I understood the difference between what was real, what was important, and what they were trying to infiltrate and teach me. It's important for us to understand that those
are we gonna lie to ourselves though?
Thinking, huh?
Are we gonna lie to ourselves though? Because while on one hand, I was a nerd reading books and stuff. My mom, her influence on, not to be giving your Gucci away all crazy. That stuff with me. But then when I was not around my mother, I was just thinking last night, because I was up listening to dancehall reggae, right? And I'm like, we was really at dollar parties dancing to this fucking song and knew all the words. Like, so the thing is, what you have to understand is no matter what we instill in our kids, they're still going to take in what was trendy from their friends, what they see on social media. You have to compete with that. But to say, they're only going to get anything from me, to me, that's naive, because I was a whole ass nerd. But guess what? When Nikki wasn't looking, baby.
Dodge. A lot of that is superficial.
I was a whole ass nerd, but when I went out the door,
I think a lot of that stuff is superficial. At the core, at the very core, if I'm instilling cultural pride and a moral compass in my girls, then at the end of the day, I'm a trust that they go out into the world with the tools that I gave them and make
absolutely
the right decisions and the most informed choices. That's all I wanted to say. That was my ultimate point.
I think it's important to share that she didn't say that she feels like her child would be influenced. She said she feels like she would be naive. She said she feel like she would be naive to think that her child would not have any influence by what they're experiencing in the media. And that's all she said. And I think we have to be, and I'm just going to ask this to the group, like, well, before we come in, like, are we really hearing what everyone is saying? Me included. Are we hearing what everyone is saying? I was going to ask you the
same thing, because I never attacked her about that.
I didn't say you attacked her.
I was trying to make a point that ultimately.
No, you didn't attack me about it.
I never said you attacked her. I just wanted to call that out. That I think that was very important that she just said. All I'm saying is, I think it's important that she just feels like she would be naive to believe that her child wouldn't have any influence by what's in the media. And I think we are naive to think that media influences do not create and cultivate socialization. I think
what he was saying was basically don't downplay what you said, what you instilled in your child. Don't downplay what you instilled in your child. What you said to him mean more than what he see on that fucking TV.
Right.
He gonna take more out of what you told him than what somebody on that TV said.
I said the same thing.
That's exactly what he was saying.
I said the same thing she was saying, but I also said that I'm not oblivious to what my children are doing. But I also did say, when it's someone that they think they're influenced by, well, let's do some research. Let's find out what they did and how they got to where they are. So I'm not oblivious to my kids listening or playing or doing certain things. I know that's going to happen. I'm well aware of it. But on the flip side of it is that I want to get an understanding of what they think and why are they so influenced by a certain individual, and what I can do to try to change the narrative and get them more of an understanding that a lot of the stuff they're talking about isn't real. A lot of the lifestyle that they're living isn't real. But here, I'm the celebrity. Guess what? You got somebody in your own home that's out here chasing a dream, that's going after it 1,000%. And I want y'all to be more in tune with what I'm doing. My kids follow me on social media, and I get a text, damn, Dad, you out Vegas? Oh, man, bring me back this. Or you're doing that, or you at a show. I call them, FaceTime. Look, it's 400 or 500 people in here. Guess what? They all came here to see your dad.
But that's not every parent, though. Not every parent.
It's not.
Has a desire to be
you can't speak for everybody,
so
though.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me say this. Wherever you work, whatever it is you do, if you got an amazing, if you the fucking work at McDonald's, look, I'm dropping the shit out these fries. God damn it! Look at what I'm doing. So it's
exactly.
it's all about what you say and what you do, and you make the best of it. Yo, I want to be the manager at McDonald's.
And
so what you need to do to become that?
Ding, 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 ding. We're gonna move on. Okay. There was a question about Cameron, but I think we've already.
Yeah, you can skip that one.
We can skip that one. So here's a saucy one. Why do women automatically assume that sex with them is good, while saying guys don't know how to please them sexually? B. Monroe, since you're giggling, we can start with you.
Because my sex is fucking wonderful. That's why.
What did you say?
I said because my sex is wonderful. That's why. The thing is, honestly, though, I was only joking. But the thing is that we don't take the time to get to know each other to where as though we can really be in tune with another person. So to say that a man can't satisfy me or I'm hard to please, it's not really true. I mean, I feel like you gotta be in tune with him, and he also has to be in tune with you. And not only that, you have to be in tune with yourself. So, I feel like women feel that way though, because how many men is really saying, you suck, or you need, you might need help in this area, or like, so it's the same thing with men. Like if nobody ever told you the actual truth about what it is when they're having sex with you, then you automatically gonna think, oh well, yeah, I'm the shit. Like, so you gotta be honest.
A woman has an 11% chance of having an orgasm when having sex with a man. Thank you for your time and cooperation.
What did you say?
A woman only has about an 11% chance of having an actual orgasm when having sex with a man. Thank you for your time and cooperation.
So why do it then?
What was the point in saying that though? I'm curious.
Yeah,
what was the point?
A woman only has about an 11% chance of having an orgasm, an actual orgasm. Not just, oh, he wore it out, that was good, an actual clinical orgasm. A woman only has about an 11% probability of that.
Hold
on. A woman only has an 11% probability of that. So I'm trying to understand where, when a man, granted it's easier for men, but when a man clearly has whatever he needs to have to get where he needs to be by way of a woman's body or whatever, the woman in the situation at the time, oftentimes women don't. So of course the collective of women are probably going to say, I don't think it's our fault. I think it's biology. I don't think it's our fault.
Our fault because it's not biology. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know you and what you like, how do you expect him to know you and know what you like? At the end of the day, there's so much shame put on women for doing certain things as far as pleasing ourselves, as far as masturbation and all of that goes. I'm just saying, personally, I can't expect this man to know how I like it or whatever if I'm not telling him or if I'm not showing him. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very in tune with myself. So if you're doing something that I don't like, I'm going to tell you. Women are more prone to be polite than to actually tell the truth. You don't want to.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say,
like I'm emasculating him or something like that by me telling you what I want or what I need.
That's what I was about to say. If you messing with this guy and you don't tell him that whatever he's doing is not pleasing you or whatever, he ain't gonna know. And how often do people tell that though? How often do people tell that? How often do you tell somebody that it's not good?
I'll tell them. Shit, what you thought that happened? That wasn't it.
I'm finna say something.
So
I mean, but not all women are.
When I
That's
was
what I'm saying. You saying we talking about what you would say, but the majority of people wouldn't say anything.
So all right,
the majority of women or people,
Daj,
people, period, men, women, like both.
Crystle.
Yes, Miss LaVeda.
I would love to hear your intake.
Could you repeat the question? I was confused by that question.
So why do women automatically assume that sex with us, is good while saying guys don't know how to please them sexually, which is it's a weird dichotomy, but
yeah, it's strange. It was a strange question. I think that whoever has that question should probably ask the woman that said that to them, because I don't know any woman that's just making assumptions like that while also assuming the other. The question was strange. So, but I will say, I will say if a woman is assuming that her sex is good and it's not, it's probably because I agree with the ladies. A man has not told her sex wasn't good. And I've heard that from men, that, they are not honest with women. So with that, when it comes to that, so with that said, that's the answer there. And as far as the other part of the question, which is, while at the same time saying that his sex isn't he can't please her. Is that what it is?
Yes, the sex with us is so. Why do women automatically assume that sex with us is good while saying the same thing in the other side of your mouth, saying guys don't know how to please us?
Yeah, okay. I think this all comes down to. This is a weird question. This all comes down to communication, right? I think we all touched on that. So bottom line, if a girl's assuming that, someone hasn't told her that. And I do agree. The reason why Daj made that statement about the percentage, it's something that is information that's out there in the world. We started talking about women, you know, about as if like, what we go through with ourselves is just the story of all women, when it is statistically an issue with women to have orgasm. It's statistically an issue for women to not have good experiences because men don't have good experiences with them. Like, and I'm not blaming men and I'm not blaming women, but what I'm saying is like that statistical information is out there that women tend to have less good experiences. And a lot of times it is because of the lack thereof communication between both parties. And I think that's how we can just answer that question.
We were brought up to, now all of us were brought up to have free thinking sexual communication with ourselves, our parents. So when you start dating, if you were brought up, you know, in the church, you didn't say certain things, you held certain things in. When you start dating, you're in this kind of flummox of like, I don't know what I like, but I'm not supposed to because it's a sin. Or you have all these there's all this weird chatter going on about what's a beautiful, natural, delicious experience. But a lot of women are not enjoying the experience. OG or Flight or Shannon, would you like to say something? Where did OG go?
I'm not sure.
Flight, would you like to say something, or Shannon?
I think a lot of times women do tell. They'll tell you when they mad at you. Your sex ain't shit anyway, nigga.
Oh boy.
And that's normally when we find out when you mad at us. So all this time.
But I think that's a horrible thing to throw at somebody, because when you're mad at someone, that's not really the issue. But throwing that in there just doesn't make sense to me. I know people do it, but if you're really connected to someone, there's ways to say that without holding it in, you know, being passive aggressive and then throwing at them at the TV, at the family dinner, or no one else knows what you're talking about. So so I forgot who said it, mentioned men don't like to tell us the truth. And there's another topic, like they're like, nah, she's not going to be able to handle it if I say the truth to her. When will we ever be on the same page if males still think I can't tell the truth?
So let me do this. I want to get to some of these comments because the people tuned in the show is just as important as the people on the panel. And then, excuse me, after I read these comments, I'm going to give my thoughts on the topic. Big Rose said, I knew she was going to say that. Big Monroe thinks she's Sunshine from Harlem Nights. Laugh out loud. Sierra said, that's sad, referring to the statistics.
Wait, what?
Dodge gave. Big Rose said, girl, who you fucking? Sierra said, they need to learn themselves. Tiff was agreeing with B. Monroe. This is interesting, and I would like to address that. Sierra said women are slut shamed. Jemina said a woman has to make a man do what she likes to get off. Okay. Sierra also says some women aren't aware of their own sexual pleasures. Big Rose said a man can take being told he not pleasing a woman angry. Philly Joan Preneur said she's honest. Tiffany Ann said, when it comes to pleasure, I'm grown. I'm going to guide a man to what's going on to please me so we are both sexually satisfied. Philly Joan Preneur said, I talk about it. Big Rose said, I welcome sexual criticism. Let me know what you like, boo-boo.
Y'all ain't get the Sunshine reference?
A lot of it is ego. Yeah, I got the Sunshine reference.
I didn't. I feel
hey, kids, put your mother on the phone. I got it.
I ain't never coming home.
I ain't never coming home.
Okay.
She said,
never coming home.
She said, I got a woman so good. You take her pussy, you throw it up in the air, and turn to sunshine. Big Ron said a lot of it's ego. At the end of the day, we all think our shot is the truth. Sierra said, are women really taught how to enjoy sex?
Did you
all water at tonight? Huh?
Did you all hear a couple days ago? Kelly Rowland kind of threw out there that she misses a gold chain. Now, somebody had to explain this to me. Do you all know what that means? I can't believe I'm going to say this, but
yeah, I'm lost. I don't know what that means.
I'm glad I wasn't.
Come on, Auntie. What's she say?
So when her legs are draped over his shoulders, and he's on top of her in the missionary, Lord is gonna live forever.
Yup. Spit it out now.
Her legs are draped beautifully on his neck, and he's on top of her. His gold chains are hitting her. So she put that out there. That's she's kind of an activity that she's missing. I'm sure she's talking to her husband to give, for him to go into the drawer and get them gold chains out.
Get y'all some gold chains.
Not zirconia, not gold plated.
Gold.
All right, so
that might turn your titties green. Get the real shit.
I'm gonna say this, and after this, moderator, we're gonna move on. And I'm sorry, we'll give somebody else an opportunity. Whoever takes the ball next will. After that, we'll move on. But sexual pleasure for each individual is basically a snowflake, if you ask me. Every man and woman likes something completely different. What one woman likes and she gets off on, the next woman may hate, vice versa for men. Like Crystle said, the most important thing that we need to understand is you have to communicate with this person how you like to be pleased. And then once you communicate how you like to be pleased, practice. So at the end of the day, you can increase that 11%. Okay? Because
ding.
Right. Because at the end of the day, every man and every woman may like something different. I'm just learning a lot of stuff about myself and things that's on my sexual bucket list that I'm ready to try that I had no clue of until I started doing some exploration into, this risque podcast, we trying to get on the calendar, Miss Monroe, to talk about. So the best thing you could do, is, number one, communicate with your partner, right? Communicate what it is that you like and what it is that you into, so that before you ever even get to that, they have an idea where the fuck to start. So you not bumbling around and she not bumbling around and trying to figure the shit out on the fly. The shit end up whack, and that 11% goes to zero. Now it's like, oh, I ain't fucking with that person no more. He don't know what the fuck he's doing, or she don't know what the fuck she doing, and you could fuck it up with that one that could possibly be the one. But if you guys are open, and everybody on this panel is too damn old to be shy about what it is.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I don't want to hit. Like, everybody should know what the fuck they doing by now.
If you like a finger in your butt, say you like a finger in your butt. If you don't like,
look at B Monroe. Look at B Monroe. She raised her hand to the finger in the booty.
Oh my God!
Whatever it is, the most important thing you could do with somebody that you want to engage in a sexual relationship with is to just communicate what it is that you like, so that way it could be good for the both of you guys. But just don't fucking assume that every woman likes the same thing or every man likes the same thing.
Is B Monroe frozen? Because I'm hearing something I must move.
Yeah, it looks like she's having like a signal problem.
Okay.
Her internet having an orgasm.
All right, but wait.
They start talking that.
But wait though.
When you start talking that finger in the booty stuff, she starts spazzing over there.
But I'm with Crystle though. I'm with Crystle when she said this is a weird ass fucking question. But let me just provide some context, ladies. Right? I bet you, out of all us ladies here, we've had a situation where we done linked up with somebody and you ask him, according to him, oh, that was lit, and they on your phone, they trying, link up again, and we like, it's like, yo, so I come through, no, my coochie in the shop, I can't, it's in the shop, not this weekend. Like, so that might be where that comes from. Most ladies have had that experience where dude.
So you was always, all your situation was always all good on your end.
I didn't say that.
A dude can't say that about you.
Most of us ladies, I said, you can say whatever you want. What I'm saying is, most women have had that experience more than once. That a dude that you done linked with is giving you rave reviews, and then it's like when you think about what he did for you. It's like
I will
like
say,
I said, you tell him your coochie in the shop, and then
I just wanted to add, like, I personally, and not so much in my older years, but I do feel like as a woman, right? I felt like I've been in a place as I've evolved sexually, where it wasn't always as easy to communicate my needs with sexual partners, and I want to be clear, like, these are like relationships. These are people that I'm close with and I feel comfortable with. And I do feel like it stems from women and me as a woman not feeling like my needs mattered in the bedroom. And and not so much now, because I am an empowered woman who got it together and I'm confident enough to talk about it. But I will be honest that I don't know if I've always been like that. And I've spoken to other women who feel like it wasn't always easy to just communicate what our needs were, and it was easier. Somebody wrote in the chat, like, most women like have sex like Sealy, and it's a joke. I think they were joking, but what I'm getting at is that stems from something. Like we're like, I'm not like Sealy, but to a certain extent, women haven't always felt as comfortable to be like, this is what I want, this is what I need, and they have not been educated that our body organs are a little bit different, and it takes different things. And I'll say this, and I'll end it with this. I did a thesis paper in college that talked about the porn culture, how it created bedroom situations for women where men assume that women want this because they may have grew up, and I'm not saying everyone on this call, but men grew up watching porn culture. So then you go in the bedroom and then you would think that that's what women want. And some of the experiences possibly could have stemmed from this porn culture where you think this is how I please a woman. Like, and women are just looking like, so again, I'm not here to diss men, but I do feel like there has been some misconceptions about the women and what we need physically to be pleased. And I'll leave it at that.
So on the same token, then the same rules apply with y'all with these goddamn toys. You can't put a goddamn He-Man sword up your asshole and expect me to be able to follow that.
And that's
the He-Man sword is your friend.
So on the same token, then porn is my goddamn friend. So if I want to come and I want to put your ass in the pretzel because I'm watching porn, you can't expect me to live up to the roles. Or the guy. Yeah, I know about the roles. Don't make that face, Miss LaVeda. You look like you got about 5 of them goddamn things.
And I think that's a good point, Topp Fliight. You made an assumption, right, about what all women are doing to all men. I think this goes back to what Big Exclusive said. Like, we cannot be making assumptions about what everybody like. I don't want to put nothing in no man. First of all, I don't know who's doing it. But I'm just saying, we all making too many assumptions about what the other likes rather than communicating. That's all I'm saying.
But can I ask this question? How many men actually really told a female that she sucked versus then stopped talking to her? We don't know. I mean, it could be a million reasons why men will sit there and stop talking to you.
I got a different take on that.
It was sexual. I mean, instead of you working with her or having the conversation with her, That's why most women
Bad shot in my
assume that
life.
sex with us is good.
But
Because it ain't
that's
no
the
man that's
thing.
telling you that.
But that's the thing. Like ultimately, to me, it was. I'll blame it on the ignorance of youth. Okay, when I did and said that, again, as I got older, I understood me more and what I liked and what I needed to be satisfied. Okay, back when I was younger, I might have been. Like I said, I'll blame it on the ignorance of adolescence. But at this stage, you have to understand that nobody wants to be in a sexually unpleasing relationship. You have to communicate what your needs are, what your wants are to your significant other. And it's not about the intent to telling them, oh, you bad at this or you suck at this. The intent should be, okay, this is where we started. This is where I need us to get. Here's how we get there. Like, I don't ever want to, like, again, my ignorance of you had me tell a woman that, but at the end of the day, how bad was it if I was able to get my shit off anyway? So
that's what I say.
Again,
that's my thinking.
Right. Communication is the most important thing. And I want to wrap this up because we got another good one and I can't wait to get to it. So I'm gonna hand it back to our stunning moderator, Miss Davis.
Can you put the panel back up, please?
Yes.
Topp Fliight, sir. I live a very boring life. I'm not a fan of toys. I do not have, what do you call them, rose
She ain't
buds?
let that shit slide. She ain't let it slide. She like, no, I gotta need to want to straighten this shit out.
Check this shit.
Since this is going to live forever online, I need to just like, wait a minute now.
Like,
hold on, let me refute this. Let me refute this before it's over. Let me put this shit out here. Like, I don't partake in that activity. Like,
what you saying is you don't have a rose. You don't have a rose.
I do not. Never
had a tulip.
One.
You got a tulip,
a bunny rabbit, a bullet,
a shower head.
I'm mad that y'all know all these tools.
Yeah, everybody on this
she got a good old. I think LaVeda got a good old fashioned dildo. She old school with it. LaVeda old school with it.
The joint that go right on the wall.
She ain't got time for that new shit. LaVeda don't got time for that. Like shit.
I do not. I've never purchased a dildo.
A lot of people on this panel argue that social influence does not influence, like they're not influenced by social influence.
What's the face Topp Flight's giving me here?
Well, how I go in the movie? Pop stripping. He want me to ask for my bike back. You know I wouldn't.
Thank you, Philly. Some ladies are like, we like the real. I like the human being. I don't like to. Just me. Nothing against those who do. I like the man.
Big, I know you want to move on, Big, but I just wanted to say I thought it was very interesting that we talked a lot in the beginning about how social influence like doesn't affect us, but like y'all started naming stuff. I'm like, I don't even use none of that stuff, so I just think that's very interesting that y'all started naming stuff that I think is like in the media and people talk about and it's popular right now.
Like, are you here? Listen to what we're saying. We're not oblivious to what's going on. Like, we're well aware of what's going on.
Pause. Let's stop the madness. The media has shit to do with personal preferences when it comes, or personal preferences, or knowing what sex toys are. Everybody on this panel is grown, okay? The media has nothing to do with any of us naming or knowing about sex toys that's available for sexual pleasure, okay? A couple of the things that I named I've never seen in the media. Never, not once. I've seen Tony Stark Iron Man style gloves with sensors that light up and vibrators at every point that I've never seen in the media. Knowing about sexual toys that pleasure you and somebody else has nothing to do with the media. I don't understand why you would even make that point. That like completely was irrelevant.
Because y'all made a lot of assumptions about what
assumptions on what?
I don't know why y'all got so upset. Why did y'all get so upset?
Because you made it seem like we got that shit from social media though. Like sex stories been around since when? Like We all grown. Like we know about sex toys without it being on the internet. Like,
but
Okay.
my
Let's go back to
problem
the
was
panel, please.
is you made the assumption. You guys watch porn and y'all come to the room and want to do the porn thing. Okay, so I
Who
like
and I
said
don't even
that?
fucking watch porn. And I
Who
don't even
said
watch
that?
porn.
Who said that? If you go
OG,
back
did
and
you
run
watch
the tape
porn as a
back.
teen?
Nope, never did.
Yo,
I
let's
never
keep
wanted to
it
see
80s
nobody
now,
else
bro.
fuck.
You ain't never
Never
seen
wanted to
Booty
see
Talk
somebody else.
25.
Never wanted to see nobody else fuck. Never. It does nothing for me. Does nothing for me.
You ain't watched the Scramble Cinemax back in the day when the channel like
Levita hit the
when the titties
Levita hit the bell.
Ding ding.
you
Oh
watch
man.
Cinemax.
She done hit
Top
the
Flight know
bell.
what I'm talking about.
I
Because he
had
watched
that cable box.
Yes, and it was scrambled. You had to like
Channel 78, 78, and 79.
So they hit his ass
So
with
he
that bullet.
watched it.
Levita.
A lot of these things we've already, they're kind of blending in, but how about number 6? Where do men feel they fit in today's society with the modern women, and how can we coexist in harmony? And we've already talked about that. We have a lack of communication with each other. There's a lack of what your love language is. Just we're not communicating.
But that's exclusively, that conversation was more towards sexuality or being intimate. As a matter of fact, I think this was Miss Monroe's topic, so I want her to elaborate on how it came about and where exactly, you know what I mean, we want to start with answering this topic.
Well, I personally think that, I mean, last week's show where we talked about the modern woman and like just the dialogue that me and Angry had last week, it just made me think of it like, okay, so now that we're no longer living in the 40s and the 50s, we're now more independent and things of this nature. And you're saying, just based off of the marriage thing, how is it now, since we're no longer back in those times where we don't depend on men as much? How now can we exist in harmony? Because it's not, I don't need a man. I want a man. I don't need one. So it's like, because I can take care of myself. So if the only role that the man played back then was taking care of the woman, and me being a woman that don't need a man to take care of me, how now are we going to make this thing work?
Wow.
You got to find somebody that you can coexist with. That's all. Find what works for you. You can't just put everybody in under one umbrella and the shit gonna work for everybody. You just got to figure out what works for you and what work for whoever you with,
what
right?
is the solution?
And figure that shit out. The solution is finding somebody that you compatible with, and then y'all make up your own rules or whatever y'all going to live by. Fuck what society got to say. Whatever works for y'all is what works for y'all, and what anybody else got work for them work for them. Everybody's shit not the same.
Crystle? Topp Fliight?
Crystle mad. She took her ball and went home.
No, I'm not mad. I thought you were going to talk. You started to say something. I ain't never mad.
I ain't say nothing. I'm waiting on you.
So, LaVeda, please repeat the question. Like, I'm sorry.
So it's where do men feel they fit in today's society with the modern women? How can we coexist in harmony?
Yeah. I want to know that. So the last part, I want to know how we can coexist in harmony, because like my experience in the real world a lot of times is what I feel that my experience has been on this call. I feel like if I say something and there is some level of disagreement, it's challenging, right? To have a conversation where if we are in opposition, and it's clear that a lot of us are in opposition, right? Men and women, particularly within our culture. But from my experience with men, when we're in opposition, that means if you're not loving on me, you know what I mean? Like if we're not in a good space, right? Like if there's some reason why we're in opposition, it's like 0 to 100, and it's like I'm trying over here to like really figure out where the communication could change, whether it's on my part or your part. But I feel like it's heavily challenging to where when we're not in harmony, we cannot just communicate to get to harmony. And I'm struggling with that right now. And I said that to use this call as an example. I think this is what happens a lot in the real world, where if we're not getting along, we don't agree fully 100%. It turns into like chaos. And so that's my question. Like, how do we get beyond that? And I do feel that men feel, the word that we used in the beginning was emasculated, when I think we were talking about in the chat, like emasculated means to like cut your dick off. So I'm confused why men feel that women having a voice, women speaking up for themselves, women not being who they might have been represented, who they might have been in the community years ago, generations ago. Because we're not that anymore, I sometimes feel like men feel like they're losing their position. So the hyper masculine role starts to kick into high gear. This is from my perspective. That's all. Whether it's money, whether it's, I don't know, whatever else. Like sometimes I feel like I'm now treated differently because I have a different role in the community, even though all I want is peace. All I want is peace. And I feel like it's so challenging to even get there. So I took around the circle. Sorry if it was long-winded, but that's just my honest opinion.
I think when you can start
I think
out
what
at,
happens a lot of times is when like, I'll give you a perfect example. And again, I'm not attacking you per se, Crystle. I think what happens, you just was a perfect example. The minute something didn't go the way you like, you shut down. You wasn't trying to hear shit nobody was trying to say. It wasn't, I don't give a fuck. And all we was just trying to explain ourselves. So when you say, I'm trying, that's most men. We try. But it go here and shoot right the fuck out of there because you're not trying to hear nothing that we have to say. So as a man, okay, I will fuck it then. You ain't listening, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm not even gonna try no more. I'm not going to communicate with you. When I'm trying to communicate and I'm just trying to explain to you what it is that we're dealing with, what we're going through, and so forth and so on. For us, not the world.
I think
what me and you are dealing with. So don't shut down and shut me out because I'm just trying to give you wholeheartedly what it is that we together can figure out.
I like that, and I appreciate that. And Avery, I know you want to go. I'm gonna say this real quick. I like that. I appreciate that. I'm gonna receive that. I think I will say a trigger for me is if we're talking about feminist issues and a man does not want to hear and they want to tell me. That's where I struggle because I feel like if this conversation kicked off with we're talking about male issues, this question right now, like I would shut up. And I don't mean to say shut up in a negative way, right? But like I think the struggle is like it depends on the topic where I sometimes feel so unheard by men when we're talking about things that matter to women, right? And then it's like, but now you shutting down, so I'm not going to talk to you no more. And then we're in the same cycle again. We're in the same cycle all over again.
Right.
I think with the perfect how you can what we could begin with is basically is when somebody talking and you listen to understand and not listen for no rebuttal or no retort. That's where the shit go left at.
That's people's problem.
Listen to understand. Listen to understand each other.
You can't internalize everything.
You got to get to understanding that what somebody's saying, not just take what they're saying just to have a rebuttal. You don't even understand what they're saying if it's already in your mind to rebut what they're saying.
That was triggering for me.
Daj?
Okay, so I got a couple things I want to touch on. I was taking something from what everybody said. Topp Fliight is right that a lot of times women, when we hear men speak on certain things, we do shut down because some of the shit we don't want to hear. But I do want to say something. As far as how men and women can coexist with a modern woman, like LaVeda alluded to earlier, women just started being able to get their own bank account in 1975. You still have men whose father was just born at that point in time, and they had their granddaddy or whatever. So we're still coming out of a time period where women were largely dependent on men, and men were used to running the roost and being in charge of everything, right? My uncle tells me how years ago my grandfather would order my grandmother's food at the restaurant because that's how shit was. So the idea of a woman being able to take care of herself and do her own thing, and like B. Monroe said, want a man yet not need one, that's a very new concept. It's what, one generation old at this point, maybe two, right? It's a very new concept. So it's something that's still being learned. However, once again, another thing that plays into it is how this affects Black relationships. I firmly believe that certain things from slavery have been passed down in our DNA mentally. Black men have to feel needed by their partner because what happened? On the plantation, the Black man was nothing and couldn't be anybody for his wife. Because if Master said, you going from here to there and you're never going to see her again, or if Master said, y'all can't keep this baby, or if Master said, you know what, that's your wife, but I want her to breathe with him, it was nothing that Black man could do. So now you have ingrained in Black men, genetically, they have to feel needed by their partner. And oftentimes when they don't feel needed by their partner, they turn up. A lot of Black men cannot deal with being with a woman who without him is self-sufficient. Many can, but a lot cannot do it. You talk about how we're in the time of Kevin Samuels and all that shit. You have men out here who say right now, if a woman has degrees and makes good money, I feel like she don't need me because, you know, why would I want her? Because what can I? You have men on podcasts saying shit like this, and then what happens? A man
Me trying to figure out how do we go forward, and you just took us back in the cave, like
because it relates. It relates to where we are now. You have
Flight, hold on. Flight OG, let her finish, please.
I'm sorry. My wife made $150,000. She made
y'all need a co-wife?
$50,000.
She pretty.
We not together.
Need a co-wife? But it's like, but what I'm saying is some men can do it. But it came down my timeline the other day. Dude was like, if she got degrees and make good money and drive a nice car and own a house, what I want with her? Some men are intimidated as fuck by a woman that come with her own everything. Because some men, as men have been for generations, they rule the roost with manipulation, being mean, being, a tyrant in their own home. What granddaddy said, that's what everybody was doing back in the day, right? People like, okay, I'm 37, somebody who would be a grandparent to me. Granddaddy ran his goddamn house and you and them kids going to do what the hell he said, right or wrong. That wasn't that long ago. So how learning how to coexist, it's a fairly new concept, but you got a lot of men who have no interest in learning how to do it. They rather just write a woman off, and if it's somebody who they can't save, or if it's somebody who they can't look down at and be a ruler over, they're not interested.
That's did you want to say something or Top Flight? Give the gentleman a chance. Top Flight or OG or
majority of men like you just lumped us up in the same boat, like.
Yep.
No, I didn't.
She did. She did.
No, I didn't. I said some men can, but a lot of men cannot.
She said many. She said, but a lot can't. She didn't
right. So I'll say that, and I'll say this: my ex-wife made $160,000 a year, right? And we got little old me who made only at my job, just my one job, not my other job. I made $60,000 a year, 65, give or take, with a little overtime. Don't tell nobody. Child support might get me, but anyway, I never got with her for her money. I wasn't intimidated by it. The problem that we had when she realized that she couldn't control me with her little carrot, it caused a lot of problems. Why? Because all of her past relationships, she controlled the narrative. Because she said, here, I'll use this carrot to manipulate you. But when I didn't eat the carrot, it caused a lot of problems because she was so used to being in control. Look, I'm good with my little 65. I'm all right, but I do some other shit on the side that's double what I'm making. So collectively, I thought that's why I married her. We can be a team and come together collectively. But when she realized that, no, I don't need you to take care of me. Let's take care of each other. Let me do for you just as much as you do for me. So what happened was
But you just stated this problem that every woman has.
Hey, let them finish.
When she bought the house, guess who name she didn't want to put on it? Why? Because she knew that would allow me to have some sort of say or some sort of control. Now, as the man, I should have put my foot down, but guess what? I just was like, you know what? You ain't listening. I'm going to do what all men do. I'm going to shut the fuck up. And it caused so many problems. And that's why to the day, that's one of the reasons why we're not together. So it's my fault because I should have said something and I should have put my foot down, but I didn't.
B, did you want to say something, or OG or exclusive?
Yeah, I did. I'm just to comment on what he was saying about his relationship. You just pretty much said what women have been going through for years before we became independent and been able to get our own. This is why we have the mindset, because men who makes a substantial amount of money, and if I'm not working, I now have to do and depend on you and ask you and have to do certain things. Or if I don't, or if I'm not a certain way, you can now use that to manipulate me, because now you don't want to do certain, or you don't want to do it now because I didn't go after or do what you wanted me to do.
All we did was switch the roles. It's still the same thing.
Exactly.
Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Just it's now women got the ball. That's it. The ball's in my court now. That's the only difference. That's what I was saying.
Miss Monroe, was you finished? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm done.
Okay.
Shannon or OG? Crystal, would you like something?
I am. It's a couple things that bother me about some of the statements that were made, men and women. But I digress. Here's what I want to say, and here's how I honestly feel. I've never seen a black man factory with a template. I've never seen a black woman factory with a template where they stamping out the same men and women all day, every day. I'm big on accountability, responsibility, and whatever it is that makes you happy. All these like terms and because nobody even defined what I guess a new age woman or a modern woman is. But what I can say is it really doesn't matter what a modern woman is. There are modern women. There are women who like old school men and the old school ways. There are modern women who like new school and they independent and they're gonna do it their way. There are women who cherry pick and like both. There is no one person fits all out there. The thing you have to understand is that you're responsible to understand who you are first as a person, what it is you want, what it is you need, what it is you like, what it is you desire. Once you understand who you are and you love yourself enough that you understand that nobody is responsible for your happiness, then and only then can you go out and search for somebody that you need and that you want and that fits that criteria that you set forth that you need for yourself. There's no such thing as a man who wants an old school woman who wants to stay home and then go pick a modern woman. It doesn't make sense. It won't work. What are we doing here? We're acting like it's a lineup and they're all the same type person. And all we do is pick them off of looks. The biggest problem we have as a community is that we just don't fucking talk and we don't talk enough. You must understand who you are and learn how to communicate, not just communicate, but communicate effectively. And you can't be an effective communicator without being an effective listener first. And stop talking in innuendo and like be direct. Say what it is that you want. That way, there's no misunderstandings. If you want to fuck, just say you want to fuck. So we know what it is. We're not looking for no relationship. I just want to fuck. If you try and get on board with that, good. But if you genuinely looking for a relationship, say that. But when you say that, say what kind of relationship you're looking for. What kind of person you looking for in that. Stop running around here grabbing people based off looks, and then you mad because he or she not molded into the person you want them to be when they've been themselves probably the whole time. And even if they did have a representative, at some point you started to see it crack and you started to see the goddamn flags. So at the end of the day, take personal accountability for your choices. Stop blaming society and the way they producing these men or producing these women when you know what it is that you want and you keep settling and looking in all the wrong places. That's what I wanted to say. Although there's some things that really bothered me, but I'm gonna leave it at that. That's where I'm at with it, because we keep saying stuff like, "Oh, men do this," and men. What if these are the men you constantly running into, or you constantly meeting, or these are constantly the men you're meeting?
You attract what you are.
Need to be in different places and
You
take a
attract
look
what
in
you
the
are.
mirror to see what the fuck is going on with you that you keep being attracted and attracting those kind of people, because there's something to be said for the energy that you putting out in the world.
Daj,
hold on. I agree with you. However,
here come that butt.
However,
But
I ain't say, but I said, however.
Same thing. Just a bigger word.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. What I'm finding is that with women becoming more independent, men, I feel with everything you said and putting out certain energy and whatever. But men are becoming more and more emboldened to try to make women go back to the former status quo. You got to understand something. What you just said, men do this. They'll seek out the woman. All right. They'll seek out a woman. I like you because you independent. You got your own, this, that, and the third. And then when they make it official, they want you right back at them 1962 gender rules once they decide.
I don't know no man that I don't know a man that wants a woman a housewife
all the time.
Hold on, bro.
They do it all the time. They do it, ladies.
I don't know none of these kind of men.
Monroe, am I?
Wait. Let me say something.
They will meet. They will meet a woman that's out here coming with her own everything, and as soon as they make it official, they want you subscribing to those old ass throwback gender roles. They do that. Because they say,
here's the thing.
I'm the man. I lead the home, and all these men now. Everybody submit. A woman need to submit, and they be saying this shit live and direct from their grandma's crib.
So again, here's my
it be broke motherfuckers wanting you to subscribe to gender roles.
The one thing I did say is, at some point the mask begins to crack, and you get to see. At that point, if you decide, and let's keep in mind, because I feel like you're trying to absolve yourself of accountability. You said that one of the one things you said, and he's doing it from his grandma's basement. You knew he was in the basement before y'all
when
made
you start talking to him.
Why is he even in the running if that's an issue for you?
Facts.
Of accountability, and if that's the experience, choose better.
You didn't just found out he was in his grandma's basement.
Dig around a little. It's funny how women get into relationships and they become the world's best fucking detectives. These motherfuckers is Columbo, but in the beginning is where you need to be Columbo. Check a nigga credit report. Check his address. Check his credit score. See where he living. Make it at the end of the day, you can't absolve yourself of accountability if you got to.
It's kryptonite. That's kryptonite.
Can I call
that's kryptonite, man.
Got to got to do that.
She never said she was
vagina
talking
check.
to the man in the basement. She just said most men are saying these views is in the
Stop,
basement.
stop, stop, stop.
Bianca.
Come
She
on,
never
don't do
said that
that.
somebody she was
Please
talking.
don't do that.
That was her
Don't
word.
do
All
that.
was talking
Don't
about
do that.
active listening. No
Don't do that.
active listening.
I want to add that, I mean, I'm not here to judge or stereotype any particular man or woman on this call. But I just gotta call out, like, even in this moment, like, I think this started with a question of, like, how do you feel, whoever's talking, feel about the state of the culture or the state of, what men think they are, and how can we find harmony? And somehow, some way, we all ended up in a back and forth debate about, like, you know what I mean, like how someone didn't like what someone else said, and I just want to come back to the original statement that I had made, like, at what point do we just, like, I personally feel like there's no patience and understanding to communicate between Black men and Black women. I'm gonna just call that out. Like, we have no patience. We're all triggered by what the other person's experience is and what they're saying. And I just, like, hope that we can, like, move past that instead of ending, like, here.
How did we get here?
I don't necessarily agree with everything that she said.
How did we get here?
I'm just saying, it's like, y'all got so triggered by her. You know what I mean? And I personally felt
she went off beat though. You laid the foundation. I followed behind what you said about being progressive. How do we get to where we need to be? We both spoke on that. She started talking about some other shit.
And
everything she said had nothing to do with what we was talking about.
And that may be true, right? So, Angry, you might be spot on, because I personally don't identify with what she said, right? I guess what I'm saying is, whether she was Big or Flight, what I'm saying is, when do we stop being so triggered by someone that we don't necessarily agree with, and just let them have their piece in what their experience is?
But you're not going to take the conversation off the rails. You took it off the tracks, though.
But
talk about what we're talking about.
That's her experience. That's her experience. And
the only way we stop. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's the issue, though. Like, Big was clearly, like, very, very, very triggered by whatever went on in the last 5-10 minutes of this conversation, and felt the need to say what he feels is the resolution. I get that, right? But I guess what I'm going back to is, she's not talking to you. She's not talking about you. She might not even be specifically talking about her current situation.
Well, she wasn't talking about the subject either, though.
All right.
That's what we talked. She wasn't on subject.
OG, chill for a second, OG, please, because I need to hear this.
I'm gonna pass the wine.
Finish your thought, please.
Go ahead, B. Monroe or LaVeda or Big, whoever wants to go.
Are you finished your thought?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just feel like personally for us to not be so triggered is if we don't internalize the things that everybody is saying. At the end of the day, what you think about me is not my business. I don't give a damn what anybody think, how they feel, or whatever. But that's just how I like. If you don't like me, that's your business. If you love me, again, that's your business. Like, it has nothing to do with me and who I am. So throughout this entire call, I didn't internalize anything. I wasn't triggered by anything, because at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody has their own opinion, and everybody is entitled to that. However, I just feel like, except for Angry, nobody actually answered the question as far as the men, as far as how do we live in harmony. Like, it's not like, how is it that we can actually coexist and come together? Everything that I see on my timeline all day, every day, is the Black woman is, the Black man is, men do this, men do that, or women do this. Is not, how do we now come to a place in 2022 where a Black woman and a Black man can now actually coexist without it actually us always being like this? That's where the question stemmed from, and that's what I wanted to know.
So I'm not sure who was triggered, right? I just said some things that were said bothered me. And the point I was trying to make, and I felt like I did answer the question when I said we need to take accountability and accountability for our choices, and that way we don't end up with people who aren't specifically a modern woman with a man who has old school views. And the second thing is the show is called Battle of the Sexes. I don't think nobody was on here triggered to the point where we had disrespect.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I feel like is Crystle, you creating a narrative where I think you actually bringing that energy that's trying to put us like in that headspace.
What?
So that
because
it's negative. Yes,
this
you
is my
are.
take on the back and forth. On the back and forth,
Wait, hold on.
it's going to get contentious.
Did I bring? So the question on the table was how can wait.
And when I feel like this is is what's going on in society. When everybody's not going to always agree with what it is that you're saying.
But the question was, how can we live in harmony?
But
and I answered it. I feel like we're not. So I answered.
She actually answered that question. She actually answered.
Like we're not communicating,
not
and how does that bring in energy? I'm really thrown off by that. Like, because I really feel like I was being genuine, and I was really being super genuine, super authentic from my perspective to answer that question. That how can we be in harmony? And I was genuine in my answer, and that was from the heart. So if I'm bringing some type of energy, forgive me to the audience and to this panel, but that was not my intention. I was being super genuine from my perspective, and I wanted to be honest with you all about how I felt between men and women. It's not anyone's fault. We're just not communicating, and I don't know where that led to you feeling like I'm bringing some type of energy, but.
I don't think he was talking about that portion of what you said. I don't think he was talking about that. He wasn't referring to that. Because you actually that portion of the question you answered. I followed your answer up with my take on it and the answer, and she took it and went somewhere else with it.
And that's okay. My issue is, and what I was as a matter of fact, that's not necessarily live on air because, like, at the end of the day, I know what I'm seeing and I know what I'm feeling, right? And again, I don't want to put it on the podcast because it's unnecessary for me to do that. But yeah, I definitely wasn't appreciating the energy. And I'm gonna leave it right there, and I'm gonna read some of these comments. Where do I begin?
They probably all backed up.
They is, and we at 8:59.
So you gonna read one, and we ain't gonna know what the fuck you talking about.
Right, and
what it pertains to rather.
It's 8:59. We going.
Go ahead, just read them. Just read them for the sake of when they get uploaded. And nobody can see them. It's only audio.
But what I'm saying is, I don't even know where to start. It's so many, and again, that's my fault because, like I said, they are a very important part of the show. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it easier because we got to edit the show, and I got to be able to upload it to all the platforms, with the 2-hour mark. So what I'm gonna do is I'll get Don to edit it later. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the show like we always end the show, and then after we give our final thoughts, I'll go into the overtime and read some of the comments, and that way we'll have it saved. So Dodge, I don't know what happened. I know Flight had to get off to get prepared for a show. But the way we do it on each and every show is we give everybody an opportunity to have a final thought. It doesn't have to do with anything that was pertaining to any of the topics tonight. It's just an opportunity to leave a message for you, a loved one, somebody in the future if they ever pick this up. Dodge is back. I want to bring her back in. So yeah, it doesn't matter.
Crazy. I don't know what happened.
Oh, you good now. So it's just an opportunity to give a final thought, whether it's to somebody personally, to the community as a whole, or if it's just for you and you want to put it out there just to get it off your chest. Who wants to go first?
I would. I love my community. I love y'all so much. I love us so much. I'm so concerned how we're just kind of doing this. Before communication, you have to heal those parts of you that do get triggered in any situation. Not tonight, but just period. So you can go forward. Healing is forgiveness for that person that and yourself for staying in a situation that wasn't meant for you to stay too long. And we've all done it. Well, I'll definitely speak for myself. And it's not anyone's fault. It's just knowing that reading a situation or being around someone, I got what I was supposed to get, and then I'm going to go. We need to evolve, beautiful people. We need to evolve. We need new, fresh ideas. We need to figure out that healing, and so we can move forward. It's weird that in 2022, we're still here. We haven't, we've got smartphones, but we're still stuck in a kind of open wound. So I'm hoping for everyone to heal before the end of the year so they can go into 2023 in a better footing. That's what I'll say.
Thank you. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. I want to thank everybody for having me on the show, to the Big Exclusive Podcast, to all the lovely ladies that are here. Blessings to you, and thanks for joining me in this conversation. Thank you, Miss LaVeda. You always bring a good energy that I guess I don't have. Like, no, that was a joke. So look, I never have anything but positive intention for the mood. I'm healing myself. So I'll just leave it at this. I pray that everybody finds what it is that they're looking for, and that we all can learn how to communicate in a better space. I'm praying for our Black men and our Black women that we can figure this out and just come together and be better. And that's my number one goal actually in life is to be a part of a community where Black men and Black women can come together united fully. So I love you all, support everybody, and everybody have a good night.
Thank you, Crystal. Who next? Anybody else? All right, then I guess I'll go.
One, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is the 90s. She wanted to say sorry for screaming. Say sorry. Hi. I don't know. Maybe she's
Hey, beautiful.
When I got on, I was just coming in from work, so she's trying to reclaim her time. But I agree with what Crystal said, is that I really hope that Black men and Black women can get it together for the sake of our community, because other communities are running laps around us because they support each other, and we the last to the party, and we losing because of it. So I'm with her. I like the same vibe. Like, that's my hope, that we can all come together. And I'm mad that my audio went out when I feel like the conversation got really, really good, but that's what I think. Stop. So yeah.
Thank you, Daj. I'm gonna go ahead and just get this one. Where do I begin? I'll say this: the love and support that's continued to be given to the Big Exclusive Podcast surpasses anything that I thought this podcast would be. I appreciate everybody who tunes in regularly. It's always, a great place to have, a good conversation, and hopefully we all learning and growing from each other. The whole point of having a battle of the sexes is so that we can continue the dialogue to understand each other more. I hope, with this podcast, we was able to, get a little closer to understanding one another better. I hope to do this again. I love these type of forums and platforms. I'm looking forward to doing another battle of the sexes, a ladies' night, a fellas takeover. Hopefully at some point, I'm very excited to get my kids on the podcast. Hopefully we could do a kids takeover, and how I ended every time. Kayla, Cameron, Daddy, love you. This world is your playground. Just make sure you work hard enough to go out and play as hard as you want. I love you both.
You gonna go be Monroe or I'm gonna go?
Oh, I'll go. So as always, I'll keep it short and sweet. I first want to thank you guys for having me on. I love you guys. I love the energy. I love the dialogue. Again, like I say all the time, I'm such an advocate for women. So what I'm going to leave with is remember you are enough. Stay empowered, stay positive, and stay pretty. Have a wonderful night. Mwah.
Well, I don't never really end these things with nothing to say, but today, my purpose, I made it a point to try to listen, to understand or whatever, because I actually got a problem with that. If you're saying something that I don't really agree with, then like I don't be wanting to hear that shit. So for the most part tonight, I tried to do that, but some people, sometimes some stuff be a little bit too difficult to stomach or whatever, and I think a couple times it got to that point or whatever. Like if we talking about something, let's talk about that and not something else. Like don't go off the topic or whatever. Like I like that shit. It just burns me or whatever. Like you took if you take it to somewhere it's not supposed to be or whatever. But for the most part, it was cool. I mean, and as far as like any kind of battle, it's like contentious, but it's not disrespectfully contentious. Like we had our little back and forth, screaming and yelling or whatever, but no disrespect. So it is what it is. And I'm gonna leave it at that.